Welcome back to another YouTube video. It's the new year 2022 and I'm going to be with you every single step of the way. If you're new to this channel, welcome, and hello, it's your girl Krissy Cela, and I want to make fitness so simple, so enjoyable and actually entertaining for you. So if you're new on your journey, I'm going to be with you, and if you're here as an OG, you know what time it is. It's time for Cooking with Krissy. Hold on, I need to actually redo that. It's time for Cooking with Krissy. So, whilst we do Cooking with Krissy, if you don't know what Cooking with Krissy is, basically it's what I eat in a day, but you're gonna cook with me and I'm gonna show you all of the recipes I absolutely love, trying out, giving them a go. Right now, I don't have a goal. At times I wanna cut, at times I wanna bulk, at times I wanna maintain. Really and truly in 2022, I just want to live my best life. I want to nourish my body. I want to actually look after myself. I want to better myself. And I don't have a profound goal. Maybe that's going to change, but in this current state of mind, I just want to do good for me. So I thought I'd make it a little bit more entertaining and actually answer a few of your very, very juicy and saucy questions. No pun intended if we do make something saucy today. But I just thought I'd answer some of your questions that you asked me on Instagram. So without further ado, it's breakfast time, but also question number one. Do you know what? No filter needed. I'm just gonna answer your questions the way they came. A lot of you, now I'm a fully grown woman, okay? So these conversations are not awkward for me. However, growing up in a Balkan household, having conversations about sex, contraception, boyfriends, relationships, sexuality was a massive no. As much as I love my mum and dad, I could never go up to my mum and be like, hey mum, like I fancy this boy. She would be like, Christiana, you are not bringing a boy home unless he puts a ring on your finger. I do not want to know. And I'm like, okay, so then what do I do in this situation? So I found myself sneaking out of my window to go meet boys. Yeah, I was that girl. I'm not even going to deny it. But listen, my mom and dad was strict to the nine. So you know, I had to figure my way out. But one of the questions that I keep getting asked is, because my life is so busy, how does that affect my sex life with Brett? Now, to me, these conversations are not awkward because I just feel like, I don't know, maybe I'm too open and honest, but I see you guys as my family. I've always said that to you. So if anything I say puts me at a loss but you at a gain, then I don't really care, to be honest, so long as it helps you along the way. And I could never have these conversations with my mum just because I felt so uncomfortable around her, and she never really made me feel comfortable to speak about sex, sexuality and all of those things. So when it comes to my life and the velocity of like stress I endure, because running two companies is not easy, and I do it to myself as well, so I don't feel bad for myself at all. Does it affect my sex life with Brett? Let me answer that question whilst I make breakfast. 2 seconds. So my breakfast haul this morning, I'm actually going to give this smoothie a go from the Tone and Sculpt app. It's called the Purple Smoothie. So this is the Purple Smoothie from the Tone and Sculpt app. We've recently added loads of new recipes and we'll continue throughout January. So it's blueberries, almond butter, substituted with peanut butter, flax seeds, which you don't have, protein powder, which I do have from Women's Best, semi-skimmed milk, but I'm going to use almond milk just because I prefer the taste, 1 banana and also some blueberries. So I like them frozen just because it makes like the smoothie a little bit more cooler. So that's what I'm going to make. You can add oats to it as well, which I might do. I'll see how I feel. Now, going back to the question, when you're busy and when you're chaotic and when you're doing a million things at once, I don't know, the last thing on your mind is getting sexy with your man. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, yeah, like, we have it all the time, like, you know, the passion is unreal. Listen sis, there's passion, you don't need to worry about that. But when you're manic and when you're chaotic and when you have a million things to do, it is the last thing on your mind. So one thing that me and Brett like to do is, yes, we do date night. I know it sounds really cliche, I know you're probably thinking, sis, we've heard it all before, but it helps us actually get out of the house. It helps us break that pattern. Brett works a 9 to 5 job, so when he gets into the office, he has to do his job. When he comes home, he goes to the gym, and that's it, he switches off. But with what I do, I don't switch off, absolutely ever. I'm always thinking about work, I'm always thinking about our community, I'm always thinking about ways to better my employees' life and experience and work life. And sometimes it gets a lot. It gets a lot for Brett as well, and sometimes he finds it a little bit overwhelming because he just wants my time. So I do have to make a conscious effort. I do have to always remind myself, like, there is more to life than work. There is more to life than being stressed. And I do need to prioritize my relationship with my man, because if you don't, communication break, and then you end up not being engaged like I was, and then it just ends up being a shit show. So, you know what's so funny? Sasha is recording, technically his employer, me, which we're friends, like we're besties, talking about sex.
It's okay, nothing new here.
Don't tell them all our secrets. But yeah, like, I do think you have to make an effort. I'm very, 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 very sexually attracted to my man. I think that's so important. Like, if you're not sexually attracted to your partner, I don't know, like, for me, I've got to look at my man and be like, oh, you're a full course meal. You know, with the starter, the amuse bouche, the main course, you know, the little palettes, you're the full course meal. So if I don't feel like that about someone, I just get the ick, and I'm a little bit like, oh. But I know that also comes and goes. And the older I get, the more I realize, like, sometimes you're gonna have really exciting moments, sometimes you're gonna have a little bit of a dry spell, but it's all about communication and keeping going with absolutely everything. So yeah. God, absolutely love this smoothie. Purple smoothie from the Tone Sculpt app. You're gonna love it, and the recipe I'll put below so you actually try it. Give this a go, it's banging. You can take it along to work with you, and even as a post-workout shake, it's absolutely chef's kiss. So just to finish off on that question as well, because I think it's really important to discuss, whenever I don't go a while without having sex, I'm a little bit like, I get tense and I get uptight and I get worse, and then sometimes when you don't do something for a long time, you forget how to do it, and you're just like, how is this thing done? I'm so confused. So that's why I do think it's good to keep it up if you can. Sorry if these conversations are making anybody feel uncomfortable, but listen, I've got to a stage in my life where I personally don't find any conversation uncomfortable anymore. I think it's so important to just be open and honest and just have an open discussion, because sex is a natural thing, you know, sex is a normal thing. And I just think that, I do think it is important, and I do think that you should make effort with your partner, because I've been in relationships where I didn't make an effort, where I wasn't communicating, where I completely went the other way, and I just thought to myself, oh, it's just fizzled out. Now I truly believe there's no such thing as like a massive spark, because when you follow the spark, it's like following motivation and fitness, it dies down. You have to keep it up, you have to keep it consistent, you have to make that effort with your partner, because if you simply don't, then that will die out. I don't know, that's just from my experience, but you know, I'm no relationship guru. You've seen me cry on social media about my ex, so I can't really help you too much. Anyway, moving on. Soup time. It's soup time. I'm gonna make us soup, because I think it's like January, it's still like shitty outside, so I'm gonna make soup. So super easy, like literally one of my favorite soups to make, easy as can be. We're gonna cut 2 carrots. We've got 1 whole sweet potato, 2 peppers, 1 shallot, 3 cloves of garlic, 1 whole chili. If you're sensitive to spice, don't use chili. 2 tomatoes, and then 1 whole leek. So what you do, super simple. We're gonna put it all in a massive oven dish like this. We're gonna whack olive oil on it, some salt, some pepper, that's it. We're gonna roast it for about 20 to 30 minutes until all the veggies are super, super soft. The veggies are all soft, we're gonna take them out, we're gonna let them cool a little bit, and then I'm gonna make some chicken stock or chicken broth, whatever you want. You're gonna mix in a blender your veggies and also the chicken stock, and then it's gonna combine together, and it's gonna make you some really, really nice soup. Depending on how much stock you use to the vegetables that you use will be dependent on the thickness. So if you like your soups quite chunky and thick, then use less stock. But either way, you need the stock and you need that liquid to blend it all together. Next question I get asked quite a lot, and it was a question I was getting asked repetitively, was how I deal with having a huge platform. And one of my community members said, what is it really like to be such a huge influencer? I honestly feel like I would personally hate it. Now, I don't know, like I get bored of the word influencer, because really and truly, influencer puts you in a bracket where it's like you're instantly, you think your job is just social media. You post all day and that's all you do. And it's very easy to believe that because it makes people feel comfortable, so it makes their perception be correct. When really, when you break down what I do online, actually it's about, I would say, 10% of my time. So the creative aspect, creating content and creating valuable content, such as all the YouTube videos I've created along the years. I think Daddy's home. Hello? Hello?
Hi.
Hello? 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 Did you go for a walkie? Did you go for a walkie? Did you go for a walkie with Daddy? Daddy's home. How was your walk, my dear?
What are you doing with that thing on?
What? The apron you got me. This is the apron Dr. B got me. Come here, Buttons. Come here, family portrait. Sit. Oh, good job. Say cheese. I'm joking. Right, I've got to go back to cooking. Going back to what I was saying. You want a little treat? Fine. Good job. Bye-bye. So going back to what I was saying, what I do online is probably 10% of my time. So the content creating, the educational content I put on YouTube, all of that stuff is pretty much 10% of my time. Majority of my time is operational. So running 2 companies, running teams of now 100 people. So that is my job. That is what I do. I am not an influencer where my sole purpose is to just purely create content. It used to be when I used to work for other brands and I would be paid to create that content. But now there's been a huge dramatic shift where 10% of my time is creating the content, which you see absolutely every single day. And I've upheld that even though the demand for me running companies is so much more higher now. But majority of my time, especially about 80% of my time, is based around building an operational system and the whole infrastructure for ONER Active, seen as it's still a baby. Tone and Sculpt, actually getting Tone and Sculpt to where we see it, its vision, its mission, and focusing on brand awareness. These are big roles. You have a creative director as a role, which is me, which is what I do at Tone and Sculpt, and you have a CEO, which is a role in itself. But I also have help from my other founders to run ONER Active, because a CEO job and a role is in itself a job. So I know I need help, and it's so important to identify and have that self-awareness to be like, actually I need help to do these specific things. If I was just an influencer, I would be creating content pretty much all day, influencing you guys to move your body, which I hope I do, but that would be my only sole purpose. It's way bigger than that, but I think for me the pressure is trying to always get it right and not effing up. I think that's where the pressure comes along, because there's a lot of eyes on you. Regardless of what I do, regardless of what I say, regardless of what I post, there's always going to be someone to say something, and it becomes a bit jarring because I'm just trying to figure it out like you are. I think people forget that. I think people perceive me as trying to be perfect. I don't fucking know what I'm doing half the time. I'm still trying to figure it out. I'm 27 years old. I'm gonna get stuff wrong, but I also need time to get it wrong and then get it right. I just think people need to be mindful of that. Drizzle olive oil everywhere, salt, and then I'm just going to mix it all up. Just going to add a little bit of water just to soften everything. Oh my god, guys, I don't have a big blender, so I've got to use my Smoothie NutriBullet blender because I just can't. So anyways, this is what you're gonna have to make do. I've got my chicken stock here. You can use veggie stock, whatever stock you want. You're gonna do it bit by bit because I'm a melon and don't have a big blender. So you're gonna put a bit of stock with a bit of veggies. I can add a bit more veggies in there. Don't overfill it because you want it to blend quite well. And then in the blender, boom, blend. Should have been all blended. Then I'm going to put it in a pan. Boom. Now you're going to keep on doing that. And then to pair this soup for lunch, I'm going to make a cheese and pesto toasty. So then you can have a cheese and pesto toasty with nice nourishing bowl of veggie soup. Brett, can you open it? I lift! It's not undoing. Oh, what's the point in going to the gym if you can't even open a blender? I don't want to get my top dirty. Done it. Oh, what's an apron for if you can't get it dirty? Oh, Brett, you didn't even know what you got yourself into with me, babe. With the soup that's here, I've made enough for a family of 10. You can keep it, or you can give me 10 kids, Brett. Okay, so with enough soup for a family of 10, you can store some away, put it in the fridge, whatever, and just keep reheating it. Should be fine. I'm gonna make a cheese and pesto toasty. Really simple, really to the point. Some sourdough bread, some of my favorite cheese. Oh my god, I love this cheese so much. And then just a bit of jarred pesto. Nothing crazy. So I'm gonna turn the bread the other side. By the way, if you cut bread this way, you're making life difficult for yourself, because I heard through the grapevine that if you turn it over and you cut it on a flat surface, it's easier to cut. Let's give it a go. So cut that bit off. They're gonna be tiny toasties. How about if I just, what if I cut in the middle and then it'll be,
I think I probably like that.
like that?
Because that's a long toast.
Maybe, yeah.
Oh wait,
Oh,
no,
no.
maybe like.
No, I'm gonna cut it from here. I'm gonna cut it from here. I'm gonna make a little thin toasty. Do you want one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Brett, you want a toasty?
Yeah, give me a minute.
Don't want to add too much pesto, guys. It gets a bit heavy. So I'm making enough for me, Brett, and Sasha. Oh my god, there's 3 slices of cheese. Well, would you look at that? I did all that. I'm gonna have to toast it like that. Let's answer one more question. Oh, this is a good one actually. Literally, it's the first one I saw. Do you and Brett argue a lot?
You answer the question, Brett.
You answer it.
I don't argue.
You don't argue.
I don't argue.
So I argue with myself.
Yeah, you're really good at that.
Seriously. To be fair, he doesn't argue. I actually argue with myself. It's actually not good. But do you find that when we first met to now it's different?
Yeah, and I can chill out now.
I've chilled out.
Yeah,
Do you think at the beginning it was a bit?
a little bit crazy.
I wasn't crazy. I was expressive.
I can't figure this out, you know.
This is why I'm expressive. Every single time I ask Brett to fix something for me, do something for me.
No, we got it.
He takes like days and days and days to do it. So he's not a handyman, so I can't ask him to build things for me. But do we argue a lot? I think.
I just built your drawers upstairs.
Yeah, but it took you 3 days to build drawers, and I'm so thankful, and I love you so much. But you also wanted so much appraisal for it. Like, thank you, babe. All right, so Brett, say what you said off camera, on camera.
It's really good soup.
No, it's good soup. Do it.
Do it again. Good soup.
No, you do it.
No, you do
No,
it.
you do it.
You do it. You do it.
No, you do it.
No, come on, you do it.
I ain't doing that on my face.
Good soup. I made it. It's very nice. This is my auntie, everybody. Say hi to YouTube. Hello. Hello. I've been styled. Hello. She's been styled by Casey. You can see the New Balances. Yeah, even the trainers. The Sand ONER Active. This is the Sage. And then Brett's not wearing his grey or his black, which is shocking. By the way, you know the white jumper you're wearing? We're going to launch white tracksuit.
Nice, finally.
Finally, right? But anyway, going back to the actual question you asked, whether me and Brett argue. Look, when you first get in a relationship, there's always going to be a bit of conflict because you're trying to understand the way you both communicate. And when I first met Brett, he found it difficult to communicate, whereas I'm overly expressive. So we ended up kind of sometimes colliding. You're so uninterested. You're so happy with your food.
I'm letting you do anything. And
Thanks, babe. But now it's different. Like now we have a dispute and we'll sit down and I can tell him how I feel. He tells me how he feels, and then we find a way. The good thing about our relationship, and something I didn't have in previous relationships, was the fact that we are not stubborn. So once we get over something, we just get over it and we just move on. So I think that's really important. You can't hold a grudge in your relationship, because then it will end up just being really toxic. So yeah, I mean, was I right?
Good speech.
Good speech. Thanks, babe. That has made it look like shit. Okay, so I had like this massive impulsiveness to clean every single drawer and cupboard in my kitchen, and I didn't realize it was going to take me nearly 3 hours, but look at it. Look at it. Wow. 10 out of 10. Right, 10 out of 10. Then you come over here. Right? 10 out of 10. By the way, if you're wondering what those massive jars are, they're jars of honey from Albania. 10 out of 10. Are you ready for the spice cupboard? 10 out of 10. My house smells so fresh. I'm so happy. So I actually realized that I have been food shopping, so I don't have all the ingredients I need. So to even make the soup, I had like old ingredients. So I'm gonna whip something up. I've never made this before, so we're gonna give it a go. So I have chicken, and then in my cupboards I have sweet corn, black beans, some tomato paste sauce, figure it out. I've made some rice, which is pretty much nearly done. I have a lemon, half an onion, and garlic. So what I'm thinking on the spot, quick thinking, quick meal idea. Onion, garlic, chicken, cook it all together, marinate it, cook it through. Then add a bit of lemon. Then I'm gonna add a bit of sauce. And then I'm gonna add the black beans. And then once that's like cooked, I'm gonna add the rice in there, sweet corn, and a bit of cheese on top. I don't know what it's gonna taste like, but we're gonna give it a go. I think Brett will tell me the truth if it tastes decent or not. My mum made these sugar cookies for Christmas, and I just think they're amazing. So she gave me a box of them. You alright? I don't know, it's not me. Next question. One of the questions I got was, what's the worst mistake you've ever made? I think it's a really deep question, but it got me thinking, and I was like, what's the worst mistake I've ever made? And truth is, I think that, going back to what I was saying earlier in this video, like, I'm always gonna make mistakes, because in order for you to learn and to progress and to be better, you have to maybe make a few mistakes here and there. Big ones, small ones, it doesn't matter. So long as you try and better yourself from it, and you grow from it, and you don't repeat the same pattern, right? And for me, for such a long time, I don't know if you guys have had this, but I had a lot of imposter syndrome, where I didn't know who I wanted to be, what I wanted to do, and I was getting really confused, because especially with the role I have, I'm front of house and back end. So even I found that my employees were getting a bit confused, because I was their boss, but also the girl online showing you videos of me and Brett on the sofa with buttons. So I get confused sometimes, and I make silly mistakes, and I act a silly way, and I'm trying to figure out along the way. I think one of the biggest mistakes I've ever done is, honestly, till this day, not giving myself enough chance and time to grow and to just be patient. Like, it's such a constant mistake I make, to put so much pressure on myself, to have it always